Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Thoughts to Think About. I'm Efrain.
I'm Liz.
And I'm Reid.
And we've got some thoughts for you to think about today. Today's the day for you to think about thoughts. How are we doing, everyone? Feeling okay?
I was until right before we started recording.
Reid got yelled at. Reid messed up our first recording. This is our second take for the episode.
It was just too long of a pause, and you weren't rolling with it.
My brain doesn't process fast enough.
So you got some processing order.
I got to download
I've got
more
some
brain.
processing order.
He needs a new update.
Yeah.
I need
The
an
brain.
update. Shoot.
Jeez.
I've been dealing with updates too much. Computer technology is annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always afraid to update like my computer after a certain time. And like Apple Watches and like all that stuff. Like at a certain point, like I know it's old. Like in Apple land, in real life, it's not actually
Right.
old.
It's like a year old. It's like, oh, wow, that's old.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I don't do, I don't update any of my apps. And
Why?
like I will go in and like choose which ones I want to update. Like if there's things being like glitchy and stuff. But like there's ones that like you didn't used to have to pay for certain things.
Right.
And then they update it to where you have to.
But if you don't update, you don't have to pay.
If I don't update, I don't have to pay. So
She's
I
a
don't.
thief. Get her.
No, she's
Get her,
just
y'all.
Gang.
smart. Gaming the system.
Gaming the system. What a gamer.
Like a game system.
Yeah.
Do y'all still have Flappy Bird on your phones?
No.
No?
Jeez.
I had it on one of my phones.
That
for
was
the
the
longest
stupidest
time.
thing ever.
I kept it on there.
That whole thing was so dumb. Or
It's
people
just a
people
fun
were
game.
No, but people were selling phones
Yes.
that had Flappy Bird on them.
Yeah.
For like a lot of money.
Lots of money.
So
Do y'all
stupid.
remember when U2 like forced everyone
Yes.
to have their album on their phone?
That's a classic moment in, I think, world history. You know, like when
You mean they gave it away for free?
Yeah, I think
But
that
you
whole
couldn't
thing is.
delete it. They forced you.
Yeah, I think
Could
the
you not
whole thing
delete
is
it?
crazy. I mean, you could get it. I'm pretty sure you could get it off of your phone somehow.
I didn't think
I'm pretty sure
it's not there now. I also don't use Apple Music at all on my
I got rid of
iTunes.
it. Oh, right, because it was when Apple Music was first introduced. That's right. And so they gave away an album for free.
Right.
Very cool thing.
Or
But everybody hated it.
And everybody
Yeah,
hated it. It's
no
not a
one
bad
liked it.
album, though.
I don't think I
it's-
ever listened to that whole
It's
album.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
I just feel like out of spite, I was like, I'm not listening to it. It's
Invasion
bad.
of privacy.
I like
Yeah.
some U2, so I was cool with it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what a surprise.
I don't think I could name a single U2 song off the top of my head.
You couldn't name a single one.
You know
Not
what?
even
I don't think
one?
I
Can
could
you
either.
can you give me
my
one?
Gosh.
Can you give
Are you
what is
serious?
the super popular
Smithsonian.
one?
Like, I don't know, With or Without You,
Nope.
In the Name of Love,
Doesn't ring a
Sunday,
bell.
Bloody Sunday.
That's you too?
Wait.
Yeah. Beautiful Day.
It's
Like
a
the-
beautiful day.
Not the worship
Okay.
song?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's
The beautiful
Glorious
day.
Oh. I was thinking Happy Day.
Oh, beautiful day. Nice. Classic. What a throwback.
Jeez.
But speaking of updates, I used to update. Then I married my wife.
Let's just let that be the longest silent pause from the history
There
of the
was not a
podcast.
glitch. We all just froze.
Yep.
Just gotta get the brownie points real
Wow.
quick.
Wow. Way to go. Nailed it. Totally nailed it.
Aubrey gave you a compliment.
She's gonna come in now.
Eventually, there's going to be a moment where something's going to interrupt the podcast and nobody's going to know what's happening. But when it happens, it's going to be awesome. And we're all ready for it. But
Okay.
it's going to be cool. I'm just prefacing everybody. It's going to happen. It's going to be
Yeah.
really cool.
It could be an alien invasion.
Who knows?
It could be a delivery. You don't know what it could be.
It could
There's
be
no way
a
to
baby delivery.
We got what?
Live on the podcast.
Let's move on.
My God.
Speaking of babies,
Yeah.
we watched what was that movie called?
Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day.
We watched Happy Death Day. The killer wears a baby mask. Smooth transition.
Yeah, way to go.
So it's a Groundhog Day style movie.
You're powering through the point. Like you just drove straight into the point.
Pummeled it over and over.
Yeah, we have a Halloween party every year at my house, my wife and I's house. And we always watch a scary movie. We bought a projector. It's only been, so we were surprised because it feels like we've done it for a super long time, but it only started in 2020. That was the first year we did it.
That's what I thought.
It feels like we've done it
does
forever.
feel like it's been a
while. So we have a projector now. We watch a movie outside in the dark. One year it rained, so we had to watch it inside, and that was less of a vibe. But and also this year, it's been like really nice and cool.
It's hot.
The air has been very chill in October, and it was hot. It was the one hot day in like 2 weeks.
Now,
Not
Singular
2 weeks.
day.
I wouldn't say 2 weeks.
I mean, close though.
pretty, yeah.
And it was like 90 degrees. Not even like,
Yeah, it was pretty warm.
it was a warm night. And
I think it was just like,
boo.
classic Texan. It was the humidity that really like
It really did though.
made it.
It's just
worse.
a humid.
It's just like
it's
kind
a
of
humid
stagnant.
heat.
And a lot of people were like in a onesie costume or like
Well,
with
that's the-
layers of
right.
what
That was the point
their
of
costume.
the party. We initially did it closer to actual Halloween, and so it was like,
Right.
it's a costume party. We do costumes. I think next year we should give awards for costumes.
I think that would be so fun.
Don't you think that'd be fun?
Yeah.
We're gonna try that.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. But anyway,
Cheapest costume.
so we watch a movie every year.
It's my award.
And as you know, my wife and I watch a horror movie once a day for the whole month of October.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, we chose Happy Death Day. It's one we've seen before,
Right.
but it is a Groundhog Day type movie.
Yes, indeed. So I was going to ask about what y'all think about Groundhog Day movies. I was like watching Happy Death Day, and I was like, there's like got to be like 6 or 7 of these. And I started looking into it. There's like 100 of them. I think there's like a million.
literally?
Yes, like
So,
just
so tell us what a Groundhog Day type movie is.
right. Groundhog Day type movie comes from the movie Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray is a reporter. He goes to Punxsutawney to interview or to cover Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog coming out of his hole to tell us if there's more winter or if spring's on the way, right? And basically, he relives the same day over and over and over and over again.
So it's just like when he wakes up, right? He goes to sleep and then wakes up and it's
Right.
It's the same one. Yeah.
Groundhog
So
Day
it wasn't
again.
right.
it wasn't just like Happy Death Day
right.
where
so
she like died and came back.
Well, but he does at certain points die.
he does.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
does
yeah.
begin to
Get creative.
end his time
He
on the earth.
He tries to stop it from repeating, right? And so he tries to stay awake past midnight, and I think he just wakes up.
Yeah,
and doesn't realize that
yeah.
he'd fallen asleep. He tries to take his own life.
Yep.
He
It's hilarious. It's not.
yeah.
It's not very.
you don't see him
serious.
try to take his own life, but he learns a lot of skills. Also, that
Mm-hmm.
he retains the knowledge of the skills. He will save people's lives and stuff like that.
yeah.
But then it resets the next day. Eventually, he has to learn a lesson, and that's how he, gets out of the loop.
Yeah, he was kind of a chotch guy, like in the beginning, and so the whole point I think was
Right.
for him to not like to reform.
Right.
So
Wow.
remind me, deep. Moment of silence for him. Remind me if the groundhog sees a shadow, we're doomed.
If he sees
doesn't.
a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter, I believe. Or no. The opposite. If he sees his shadow,
And runs back into his hole. That's what happens.
That means
Sees the
it's-
shadow, goes back inside his hole. 6 more weeks of winter.
of winter,
Believe
yes.
so, yeah.
Oh, okay. See, because in my mind, if it was sunny, you would think he would see a shadow,
Yeah.
and then no more winter. But if it were overcast, no shadow, more winter. So I don't know.
The origin of that is so interesting to me.
Well, yeah, who's like, what's
That
this groundhog thing?
You hear nothing from groundhogs outside of this day.
Outside of Phil,
Do they
groundhogs are silent until one day of the year.
silent but deadly?
Oh, great.
This just in, groundhogs are deadly.
Silent but deadly.
Groundhog Day is the tradition observed in the U.S. It derives from the Pennsylvania Dutch superstition. It had to be Pennsylvania Dutch, right? They've got
Dwight
all,
Schrute.
yeah, they've got all this weird stuff, man. Pennsylvania Dutch. We got to do an episode on just Pennsylvania Dutch
Just
traditions and superstitions.
It's just the Dwight episode.
Yeah. It derives from a Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow and sees its shadow, it will retreat to its den and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. If it does not, spring will arrive early.
Because the groundhog's like, ooh, chilly, and he like runs back in.
Time to go back.
The weather lore was brought from German-speaking areas where the badger is the forecasting animal.
What's the badger got to say?
A honey badger.
That's funny.
It is related to the lore that clear weather on the Christian festival of Candlemas forebodes a prolonged winter, which I want to know more about Candlemas.
Candlemas?
Yeah.
Different than Christmas.
I believe so.
Wow.
All right, well, back to the...
Quite a groundhog hole we just followed there.
There's so much that we could do just about groundhogs.
Just straight up.
Groundhog Day.
You know what? Let's just talk about groundhogs. This is more interesting. No, Reid, go ahead. Go ahead. So you said there are a lot more Groundhog Day. A lot of more.
Right.
Groundhog Day style movies.
Right.
That are out there. So we watched the one, right? So we talk about Happy Death Day. There's a serial killer. She gets killed, and every time she dies, she wakes up and it's the next day. She actually does. Well, it's kind of a spoiler, but I'll go watch the movie. Enjoy your time. It's a good one. It's only slightly spooky. It's not like really scary.
It's more like funny, gory.
Yeah, it's there's a little bit.
She's
of
like
gore.
a college girl, and we're like yelling at the screen.
Yeah, turn around. Like, don't go in there. That kind of
We're
stuff.
yelling like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Turn around. Yeah.
It's a good time. Language warning probably, and graphic warning, but viewer be warned. So, tell me another Groundhog Day style movie.
Yeah. So a really popular one that you probably heard of is 50 First Dates. Of course.
Oh, right.
That would be a Groundhog Day?
Yeah. Relives the same day over and over, right?
I mean, I guess she doesn't have a choice. She relives.
Oh, she's not really reliving, but she thinks she is.
She thinks she is.
Right.
I've actually never seen that movie. So
do you know like the premise of it?
I think so. She forgets, right?
She had like an accident, and her short-term memory part of her brain is kaput, and so she meets Adam Sandler, and then he falls head over heels for her, and then every day he's like trying to
Does he realize it's happening, or
after a while?
After
yeah,
a
and
while?
then someone tells her or tells him that's like,
yo, dude, she can't remember.
So it's really sweet at the end, like they're married and they have kids and stuff, and like every day she plays this video, this like old tech, this like VHS tape. And it's like their whole story, like their love story, and it like that's how she wakes up. Yeah.
Imagine waking up one day.
So sweet.
Just imagine waking up one day and there's a DVD next to your bed that says "Watch this." You watch it and it tells you, "Hey, I'm your wife. We've been married for this long. You forget everything that happened every day."
That's kind of crazy.
And so they're just telling you, like, you just have to believe that, like, oh, I'm married and I have kids and all of this stuff has happened. And
that could also be like a horror movie.
But also,
it
reminds me of the movie Memento, where the guy does forget everything in his short term also. And he has his whole life story tattooed on his body to tell him what he's doing and what his life's goal is.
There's another one right there, yeah. Memento.
He doesn't. It's not a Groundhog Day style,
basically.
but it's very similar.
That also reminds me of
51st Day.
Prison Break, where he tattoos the blueprints of the prison on his body.
I've
to
never seen
break
that show
his
either.
brother out. All of these, they're all
Groundhog
connected.
Day, though? No.
Not quite.
So sorry.
Not quite a Groundhog
We've
Day.
diverted.
Okay. There's another one. This one is the war one. It's called Edge of Tomorrow, or it got a renaming called Live, Die, Repeat.
Oh.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, this is
I've seen
Tom
this
Cruise.
What's that one about?
Yeah, he dies on an endless loop as he tries to learn how to win in a war against aliens, with each of his lives playing out like a video game in which he gains experience and gets closer to winning. But yeah, so that's it. He's trying to win a war against aliens.
That one's pretty good.
Aren't we all?
Watch last week's episode and you'll see. This one I like to call Naked Groundhog Day. It's just called Naked. Phil Connors doesn't have to relive the same. Phil Connors at least didn't have to relive the same humiliation Marlon Wayans does, where he wakes up
Marlon
naked.
Wayans.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yes.
Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans. Is that the actor's name?
Yes.
I don't know actors.
I don't know, man.
That's a lot of weird letters all strung together.
Excuse
You don't
me,
need to
Mr.
see it
Marlon.
like that.
I'm gonna tag him in this. For sure.
This actor,
That was so good.
this man,
Wayans.
Continue, Reid. Continue.
Sorry.
he wakes up naked just hours before his wedding day and has to repeat things over and over until he gets things right. And apparently, it's actually a remake of a Swedish film from the year 2000.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Marlon.
Then there's Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You.
To You, technically a sequel. It is
right.
a
It's supposed to
sequel.
be like the next day.
I'm not going to spoil it because that would be a spoiler.
I
Wouldn't
love
it?
spoilers
Wouldn't it?
though.
And and
that's weird.
I'm only telling you guys about the ones that I'm familiar with. I'm skipping over like many titles.
Yeah.
Palm Springs has Andy Samberg.
Oh, I think I've heard of this one.
Somebody. It starts off with when she meets Niles at her sister's wedding, Sarah decides to follow him into a mysterious cave. Consequently, she ends up stuck in a loop, reliving the same day with him when romantic sparks fly between them.
Oh Lord.
It's always like romance, though, right? Like
It's generally there's always some
Wild.
sort of romantic element to it. I think that's because the idea of having a do-over in relationships is so potent. You know,
right.
people are constantly
What
wanting
could have been?
What could have been? Right? Yeah, you made a mistake, and I need a second chance, and then boom, the fantasy is you get to do it again.
Right.
But then there's always monkey's paw. Right. That there's always a
You
a
have to do
negative
it again.
consequence. There's a negative consequence to
Right.
your wish, right?
Right.
You know what I mean by monkey's paw? I said
No.
that. No.
Threw me for a loop.
A monkey's. Oh, that's another. We're just throwing out idioms all over the place. A monkey's paw is like one of those. What do you call it? Like magical item. Like a rabbit's foot gives you luck.
Okay.
Monkey's paw. If you curl one of its fingers or something like that and make a wish, it's supposed to grant you your wish, but usually it has unforeseen consequences.
Right.
That sounds like some old witchcraft over there. So
Because the idea is like if you, I just wish I had more time with this person.
Yeah.
And then it's the monkey's paw is you get every
Yeah.
day, you just relive the same day over and over forever.
Dang.
That kind of situation.
Yeah. Okay.
From what I'm seeing, the monkey's paw originally was it derives from a short story that was written in 1902.
Oh, really? So that's a very new concept.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like something from like ancient Chinese tradition or
some
something,
Eastern, religious thing. Wow, that's not even. I mean, they
that's
could
what
have
I'm
stole it.
That's
from
what I'm finding on Wikipedia.
Right.
In my
A
30
reliable
seconds of
source.
research, right? So take it with a grain of salt, right? It says, see also unintended consequences. I'm trying to think of like a really good example of like a good meme about monkey's paw.
A good monkey's paw.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
I wish Google monkey's paw.
I just wish
meme.
I could, or I wish I was unkillable, or I wish I was immortal. But then you're immortal, but you're sad because you live forever and
Yeah.
all your friends die.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Right. It's similar to I recently just finished watching through my yearly Harry Potter again.
Ah, yes.
So right when they go through the Deathly Hallows, the Resurrection Stone, in the fable, the brother who got the Resurrection Stone, he wanted to bring back his wife, but then because to have more time, but when she was brought back, she was not herself. Right? It's like a darker form
She was still
of her.
dead, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So similar to that, like you
It's
really
very
don't
similar to that, right?
get what you ask for.
Right. You don't always get what you wish for.
Can't
That's the thought.
always get what you want. Yeah. Interesting. Sad.
Yeah. So Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
It's a fun genre. It's a
yeah.
whole genre. I mean, clearly there's movies on movies.
I've got more. I
It
gotta
really
talk
needs
about
to be its own genre.
It is pretty
basically.
much. It's like a genre.
Not officially, yeah.
A genre of a
There's
genre.
Looper, which is not like a true
okay.
a true monkey
Monkey's
Not
Paw.
a true monkey's
Groundhog
paw.
Day.
Groundhog Day film.
Like a true monkey day.
But it's kind of similar. Then of course Groundhog Day is there. There's one that there's two that I've watched that I should tell you guys about. One was When We First Met.
That's what it's called.
Yes, it's called When We First Met. It's got Adam Devine and Alexandra Daddario, and it's like that very specific like romantic one where it's like I wish I could do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
They like are at a Halloween party, like costume party, and he meets her.
I've seen this.
Right.
Isn't it Adam Devine?
Marlon
Wayans. I mean, it's a name.
Yeah.
I mean, you could choose to say it how you want, really. So,
Can you?
I mean, but they would probably ask you to say it
Yeah.
the right way. But
It just
I'm
feels
saying.
kind of wrong For me to call him divine.
Divine. Just. I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, sir.
Sorry, you're not that.
No, it's
good.
not divine. It's not divine. It's like Adam Divine over there. You know, like
Yeah. Dang, he's divine.
he.
I'll let you have this.
Wow.
moment.
Anyway, I watched that one and I was like, this is like Groundhog Day, except this is like college Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it
So there's
is.
like college Groundhog Day, there's regular Groundhog Day, there's naked Groundhog Day.
There's college.
There's war.
Deadly Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dying Groundhog Day.
But when we first met, it's very similar to regular Groundhog Day. Like some of the character arcs too. Like that's interesting. You're kind of blowing my mind. I've seen the movie multiple times.
There are several Christmas Groundhog Days. Like, wow. We watched one at Aubrey's parents' house, and it turns out that no one in watching it was enjoying it at all.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, we were watching it because we thought that Aubrey's dad wanted to watch it, but he left it on because he thought that everyone else was enjoying it. But truly, no one was enjoying it, and it got like a 5.4 on IMDb.
Jeez.
It was called Christmas on Repeat. And it was just not great.
It has a bad name.
It does.
That's not a good name.
Yeah.
Well, the what? The poster, the movie graphic. It's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It looks like it's giving ABC Family.
Like Hallmark.
In the
style.
worst
Giving,
ways.
yeah, bad Hallmark movie. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And then, so Aubrey and I, we were watching this movie and we were like, there's a daughter and she's supposed to be a teenager, like in high school. And Aubrey's like, she's not a teenager at all.
Like
She's
40.
like old.
Yeah.
She's currently, this came out in 2022, which means it was filmed in like 2021 or 2022.
Uh-huh.
Right now, she's 25 years old, which means when it was filmed, she had to be like 23 at the youngest.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
like a 16-year-old. And you can tell she's like not a teenager.
That's like a huge thing in Hollywood, though.
You
right?
can like pull off like 18, 19 if you're early 20s for sure.
Right.
But when you go that young,
Some people can
Some
pull
people
it
can
off
pull it off for a long time.
for a long, long time. Yeah.
Some people be looking young. Honestly, if I shaved my face, would
Do
not
it.
be good.
For the pod right now.
For right now? All right, get the razor. Let's do it. Today's the day, everyone.
head and face.
Oh no, just completely bald.
whole-
Eyebrows,
the whole skull.
eyelashes. Oh man,
golly.
that would be insane.
Yeah.
not
So,
doing it. Sorry.
there's just a whole genre of Groundhog Day movies. And yeah, I don't know. What if you were living in a Groundhog Day scenario, what would you do?
What would I do? Man, it's just such a crazy concept because it's like to relive every day. I mean, almost infinitely, because like some of these movies they show they're like learning
Right.
insane skills.
Right.
Yeah.
That would
In
take-
Groundhog Day, he
Yeah.
learns how to be like he takes a piano lesson every day from the same teacher, but every day he's just like, oh, this is how far I am.
Right.
And so he becomes a master pianist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's like the infinite time you have is crazy. So I mean, I don't know. I'd probably, I don't know, read a book or two. I don't know. I'm a very slow reader. Okay, it would take me a long time. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much you could do. Like,
I was just thinking, I was like, why not write a book? But then like you'd have to be able to write the entire thing
Yeah.
From
and-
all
memory.
Yeah.
in the same day, but then
dude.
also stop the loop
you have to
to
stop
keep it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
what
have
a
to be like
thought.
prepared to finish the book
Shoot.
and stop the loop all in one day, which would not be
Holy
easy at
crap.
all.
That's why the piano works so well because it's
Right.
all just his brain.
Right.
And he can
And
just
reading
pick
a
it up
book,
and go.
you just pick up on the page that you
It's
left
true,
off on.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
You
I
can-
mean, it kind of reminds me of the Book of Eli, that movie where
Right.
he memorizes the Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
So
a
that-
Groundhog Day. Though.
Not a Groundhog Day type,
Yeah.
but it is a good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, where he memorizes the Bible so he can carry it on for later generations, post-apocalyptic style. Yeah, so yeah, that's crazy. So you'd have to just memorize your own book that you wrote. So you'd have to write it, memorize it. Holy crap,
Yeah.
that's so much.
Not possible to do that
so
one, yeah.
you're not writing a book.
But you could learn instruments.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You could learn skills or like a field of study. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like my answers are not this like educated
Beneficial.
Okay.
or like, yeah, beneficial to the world, like writing a book or, A song.
Hey, some
Not
books
all
are not.
books. Yeah, there's
are
3
not
of them right
beneficial
there
to
that
the
are not
world.
beneficial to the world.
Dang.
Yeah, I think me being nosy would like to go to like all the different people that I'm close with. Like, hey, what are you doing right now?
And just get in their
now
business.
that I'm not with you, like I'm typically not with you
like
right
as
now.
a
Like,
ghost,
no,
or just like, hey, what's up?
whoa, like that. I'm not like flying around.
Haunting them.
No,
I want to
like
haunt people.
on a typical Thursday morning, I'm at work. But what if I go over to where y'all are or where like what are you doing?
What are you
Most of the
doing
time,
right
I
now?
think it would not be that interesting for most people.
Yeah,
never
that's
know.
so true.
Or I'd try to figure out like what popped off on like the stock market.
But you couldn't
yeah.
use it.
I don't understand.
There
how
would
that
be
But
no
happens.
if
benefit.
I stopped the loop,
Right.
then I would.
Oh, so
able
you're
to
saying
benefit
like
from
in a
that.
1 day time frame, like in the morning, if you could buy like one stock, like a bunch of one stock, that you would know later it's gonna pop off that night.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you
And then-
you would have to stop the loop at some
Right.
point.
Well, then I'd figured that out.
Right.
And then I'd figure out how to stop the loop.
Yeah.
I wonder if like your caloric intake carries over from day to day in a Groundhog Day style. Like, could I just eat whatever I want
That's
and have
definitely
no
like
consequences?
a candy eater would say that.
Well, I was thinking about getting into really good shape. Like if I like exercised.
But you couldn't. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right, but I'm asking, does it carry over? Does
That
fit?
carry over.
Because my memory
Interesting.
carries over. Does my like body change carry over? I guess not, because he like killed himself.
Yeah, there's no way his
think
body.
so,
yeah,
yeah.
there's no way his
Yeah.
body carries
Okay.
over.
So I would just eat whatever I wanted, you know?
Yeah, there's no reason to get in shape. It's definitely you should eat whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Was Groundhog Day with Bill Murray the original, like the Flint? The spark.
Oh,
spark.
okay. I see where your brain
You see what I'm
went there.
saying? Is that what like?
Flint steel.
Thank you. When did
Minecraft
that?
made that. So
God.
it's a Minecraft
Help
reference.
us all.
It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not.
When did Groundhog Day come out?
1993.
Yeah,
Wow.
I definitely watched that as like an adolescent.
It's a
Probably
good movie.
mm,
As an adolescent, yeah, probably not.
Whoa. I should have looked this up before. I did not, but there are several others that come before Groundhog Day.
Really?
Yeah. Repeat performance, 1947.
Wow.
A woman who shot her husband on New Year's Eve in 1946 wishes she could live the year all over again and somehow gets her chance, which leads her to try and stop the events of the past to futile results.
So she gets a whole year?
Apparently.
good lord,
Then
that's too much time.
1964, The Time Travelers. Scientists test a time viewing device, but the screen becomes a portal which they enter, then it disappears, stranding them in a future devastated by nuclear war. Oh, that's not what we're looking for at all. It's like just
it's
it
not
shoots
like
them in the future. Journey to the Center of Time is a remake of The Time Travelers, which was literally 3 years later. They remade the movie 3 years later.
Jeez. It's like
Sounds
Spider-Man.
like Disney.
I wonder if that movie
Yeah.
is trash.
Disney made it.
This one is not English. I think it might be French. It
Are you sure all of those are Groundhog movies?
it says films with time loops.
Oh,
I mean, that's kind of different, though. That's a different thing.
This one's just time travel.
I think a time loop is like Back to the Future style.
Okay.
where
Mm-hmm.
They
So-
go back, but then there's like, something they have to fix about it.
Oh gosh. Oh. I didn't mean to click on it. I was hovering over it. And this is a 1984 Japanese adult animated fantasy comedy.
Reid.
So we're not gonna talk about that one anymore. But it is a Groundhog Day style.
Okay.
This is a family show.
This is a family
Well, I was
show.
like hovering
Reid.
over it, and I saw the box art, and I was like, "Well, that's a little risque."
Oh my
and then I accidentally
gosh.
clicked on the link, and I was like, "No, go back."
I
Stop hovering over it.
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
mean to click it. It was an accident. It was totally an accident.
Classic.
Classic Reid.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out if there's any other ones.
Looks
Okay,
like
1201, 1993 as well is a fiction. It's the second film adaptation. One was in 1990, but it was a short film. So this one is a feature-length remake of the short story, which was published in 1973. Office worker Barry Thomas is forced to relive the worst day of his life.
Poor guy.
But that was also 1993. So the only one that really happened, like that was like truly a day after day time loop, was that Japanese adult animated film
Before
that
Groundhog Day.
happened. Well, then there was the short story, and there was the short film, which was then adapted in the same year into a feature-length film as Groundhog Day.
Wow.
I'm just gonna go and throw it out and say Groundhog Day is like the first of its kind. It's what it kind of sounds
Certainly
like.
the best one.
Made popular by
Right.
And
Groundhog Day.
I think that is what I'm trying to get at is that is the blueprint. So if it was only his like mental facilities, mental things.
Yeah.
His thoughts, his memories is what carried over from day to day.
Yep.
Then you can eat whatever you want. You can work out as hard as you want.
Doesn't
Chop off
matter.
a hand. Like
Right.
none of that matters.
Right.
Moral of the story is none of that matters.
Wow. Dang.
Crazy.
Deep.
Well, then that makes me think like he becomes a master pianist, right? But that still requires like your body to adapt to playing piano well. Like if a novice piano player who has like zero experience playing piano, if suddenly my mind knew how to play piano, my body wouldn't be able to keep up.
I mean, it's muscle memory.
Your muscles.
But did his muscle get the memory?
But I think your brain overrides that.
But you have to build the muscles, like your tendons have to strengthen and your muscles have to strengthen.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like the calluses on your fingers.
Right. If I become an
but-
expert
guitar.
guitar player,
Y'all are acting like keys of a piano weigh like 5 pounds each. Then he like has to work and do that.
but it's still not easy.
It's not
It's not
nothing.
only mental. There's some physicality to playing
I think
piano.
I think I'm on board with Reid. I think
No.
there's a little bit of physicality.
I become
there.
a master tuba player mentally right now. My lung capacity cannot keep up.
See, that's a good one. That's a good example.
I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you joining us for another episode of Thoughts to Think About. Let us know what your favorite Groundhog Day type movie is. Leave us a comment in all the places. Go subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. And leave us a like. Also, likes are always very nice.
I like likes.
We like that. It helps us out. So we appreciate if you do those things. Guys, y'all have any closing thoughts to think about?
You gotta warn me, man. We'll be back here tomorrow with the exact same episode.
Oh!